once was a very talented man who saw a mountain in the Black Hills of South Dakota and had a vision. He carved the majestic faces of 4 presidents into the granite rock. We call this national monument Mount Rushmore, and this famous artist is me. Hi, I'm Gutzon Borglum. John Gutzon de la Mothe Borglum was my full name. I was born on March 25, 1867 in St. Charles, Idaho. I died on March 6, 1941 in Chicago, Illinois, due to surgical complications. My father, Jens Maler Hargrad Borglum, was a woodcutter from Denmark. My mother was Christina Mikkelsen Borglum. I had one brother. An interesting fact from my childhood is that my father had 2 wives. My dad's second wife was Christina's sister, so I had many half-siblings. Christina and Ida were homemakers. My family left the Mormon church that we were members of, moved to Nebraska, and my father became a physician. My life took me many places. In 1882, I enrolled at St. Mary's College in Kansas for a short time. Then I went back to Nebraska and worked in a machine shop with my brother and also as a visual artist. I enrolled and graduated from Creighton Preparatory School and received the equivalent to a high school diploma. I married Elizabeth Putnam and we had a son, Lincoln. After a few years, my passion for art grew and I left to attend a school in Paris, France. Me and my wife divorced. I graduated from the Julian Academy and the École des Beaux Arts, and I became a famous sculptor in England. My art was adored by many people. I returned to the United States and I became an active member in politics and even became a member of the KKK. In April 1923, the South Dakota Society decided that they wanted a monument. This was a very important project, and the South Dakota Society asked me to create it in the Black Hills Territory. Me, at the age of 57, chose the location of Mount Rushmore for its stable cliffs. It took 4 years to create, and the image I wanted constructed. The construction began on October 4th, 1927. I chose a team of hundreds of workers. I chose to sculpt the faces of 4 presidents because they played such important roles in American history. The first face to be sculpted was George Washington. Theodore Roosevelt's face was second. Abraham Lincoln's face was third. And Thomas Jefferson's face was the 4th. The completion of Mount Rushmore was on October 31st, 1941. This is important because we are reminded of the presidents that formed our country while admiring my talent. I had some wonderful character traits. One trait was artistic because I went to art school. I loved art and I was an amazing sculptor. Another trait that I was an amazing sculptor. Another trait that I was imaginative. I had to have an image of Mount Rushmore in my head. I had to build Mount Rushmore and had to help hundreds of workers understand his idea. An additional trait is that I was talented. I turned rock into an amazing monument of faces that are 204 feet wide and 919 feet tall. I, Borglum, spent almost 2 decades planning, creating, and sculpting Mount Rushmore. I was dedicated to the project until my death in Chicago in 1941. After my death, my son Lincoln put the finishing touches on my vision. Mount Rushmore turned into a masterpiece.